Now, where are you from?
I'm from a city called Aliquippa. You know, it's like on the outskirts of Pittsburgh, probably like 10 miles away from Pittsburgh. You know, Aliquippa. It's in Beaver County. A little small city, man, but I mean, we make a lot of noise, man. Like, if you look it up, Aliquippa, we got a lot of athletes like Darrell Reeves, Ty Law, Mike Dicker, Tony Dorsett. Like, we got a lot of athletes that came from Aliquippa. So, you know, you should look it up.
Since it's only 10 miles away from Pittsburgh, would people say that it's a suburb of Pittsburgh or something like that? Or is it its own city, own situation going on?
Man, I really feel like Aliquippa is its own town because it ain't that many people that live in Aliquippa, but we got a big names. Like, when you up Pittsburgh or another place and you talk about Aliquippa, like, we got our own name. Like, we stand out as Aliquippa. Like, we our own. Like, Aliquippa is Aliquippa. Like, Quip is Quip. Like, it's us.
Now, being in the Quip, what was that like for you growing up in that town? Paint the picture for us.
It's funny that you called it the Quip because a lot of people from like around the way call it the Quip, but we just be laughing because we call it Quip, but everybody say the Quip. But I mean, you know, life growing up in Aliquippa is like it's a small city. Everybody know everybody, so a lot of people is family and related. But I mean, it's like a typical city. We kind of small, but we got a big name, for real. I mean, it's hard though, and Aliquippa, like, cause you gotta be accountable of your actions, cause like Aliquippa people got these high standards, so we just strive to try to be great, you know, as good as possible.
Was it rough for you growing up? Would you consider it rough?
I mean, like, for real, her mom had a job, her grandma had a job, like, people in my family had jobs, like, we ain't have it bad, but it was times that we struggled, but you know, mom, Dukes, dad, like, grandma, they always made sure, you know, that things got took care of. I mean, a couple nights, you know, stuff was bad, but, I mean, we still here, man, and it just taught you a lesson, for real, for real.
What was maybe one of your roughest moments?
I'd probably say one of my roughest moments would probably being incarcerated on a case that somebody who I thought was a friend did some sucker stuff, but you know, we don't get into all that, but I was actually incarcerated on a homicide. Thank God, you know, I ended up beating that joint, coming home, you know, gotta thank God first. And that was probably, you know, one of the hardest parts for real. And besides the fact, like, I had a lot of friends that I lost to gun violence. Like, in like 2009, 2010, I probably lost like 6 friends within a 3-month status. Like, this month I lose a friend, then the next 2 months I lose 2 more friends. So I was going through a lot, man. Like, that's why I put that in my music. So when you hear my music, I talk about the pain, I talk about the struggle, you know, where I'm from. Like, I put it all in there.
So all that happened in the Quip? All those deaths of gun violence?
Yep, Aliquippa. Yeah.
Now, growing up, what type of student were you in school?
I'd probably say, man, when I went to school, I mean, I really got pretty good grades. It was like my mouth or playing around in class that really got me in trouble when I went to school. I mean, I had all right grades. I probably like a B student.
Graduated high school?
No, I actually dropped out of high school in 11th grade.
Did you ever go back to get your GED or anything?
When I was actually incarcerated, I ended up getting my GED. When I was down on my case, I ended up getting my GED. So yeah, I got my GED.
County jail?
Yeah, because I was just in the county. I was fighting my case.
Right.
So I was going to see, like, dang, like, if I would have lost my case, I'd be up the way right now. Like, will none of this be possible?
How long did you have to do in the county?
I was in the county for, I think, like 12 months, yeah, like a year.
A year?
Yeah.
And what ended up happening to that case? Did the case get dropped or?
No, I actually had a jury trial, and the jury found me not guilty of all charges.
Oh, so it went all the way?
Yeah, it went all the way to the trial, man.
Now, after that, do you continue to just do the music thing and go right into music? Do you stay in the streets at that time? Or do you actually try to pursue your education for a higher education? How does that work?
I mean, when I came home, I was really trying to uplift myself and my career and be like a better father to my kids, because like I missed out a whole year of their life. So I was basically just trying to uplift myself and my spirit.
Ever have any thoughts about going to college, or that's not even in the equation?
I mean, when I was young, I wanted to go to college. When I was young, I always told myself, like, you know, I might want to go to college. But then as I got older, it's like college ain't for everybody. Like, some people just, like, ain't for college. Like, so, I mean, as I got older, I think it was like, nah, I probably ain't going to go to college.
Now, looking back at your situation and, you know, your life, hindsight 2020, was that the best decision you made? Or do you wish you would have explored college? Just curious.
I mean, on that situation, I feel like it might have been a good experience to like go through, a learning experience to actually go through. So I mean, that's how I really feel about that. Like now that I look back at it, I probably should have did a couple classes or experienced it, you know, and just see how it was. But just the stuff I was doing at the time, there was like no way I could be in college and be doing the stuff I was doing. So, like it was, you know.
I see. Now, what do you tell somebody? And by the way, did you state a reason in this interview why you dropped out? Was there a reason? Why
I actually dropped out because it was just like that was the point of my life when I was in high school. I was just ain't want to listen to nobody. I thought I knew it all. Then I had all the older guy that was on top of me. Like I told you earlier, like I lost a lot of friends. Like all the friends who I lost was like the older guys in the city that had the nice cars, like that had the big names. Like them was the people who I really looked up to. Like we didn't look up to the firefighters and stuff like that. Like we wanted to be like them with the nice cars and that name and all that.
So street guys.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So you drop out of high school and you go into the streets.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what was your parents' thoughts on that, dropping out of high school?
They really weren't with it. Actually, my mom kicked me out. Like, my mom told me, like, if you ain't gonna go to school, you gotta get the hell out of my house. Like, you gotta go. So, at that point, I'm like, dang, I gotta make something happen. But, I mean, you know, eventually we came to understanding on certain stuff. But, yeah, and my parents, they definitely didn't approve of that.
Now, let me ask you this. Okay, what do you say to the kid watching this interview, listening to your story, about to get out of high school, and in a similar situation, right? They might have 1 foot in school, 1 foot in the streets, about to get out of high school. What do you tell that person that's thinking about the next step in life?
Man, I would tell that kid I mean, these streets ain't really nothing nice. Like, these streets is going to always be here. So, I mean, these streets is savage. Like, you see what happened to people who in the streets. So I tell that kid to just follow your dream. Like, you necessarily ain't got to go to college if it ain't for you, but just follow your dream, though, and don't let nobody tell you that you can't do nothing. Like, follow your dream, whatever you feel like your passion is, no matter if you want to be a football player in the NBA or a doctor, a lawyer, anything that you put your mind to it. If you really do it, put your mind to it, you can do whatever you want to do.
Now, what about somebody watching this, finishing up high school and wanting to get into music? Whether it's in front of the camera or whether it's behind the scenes, but they just want to get into the music business. What do you tell that person? Do you tell that person go right into the music after they get out of high school, or do you tell that person continue your education and do the music thing at the same time?
I would tell them that you really got to continue your education and at the same time build your craft. Like, if you want to be a rapper or producer or just anything like that, you better off going to school and getting the right tools and the right knowledge. Like, so that you could be the best at your craft, at what you want to do.
I see. Now, jobs you had growing up, if any?
I think when I was like 13, I had a little odd job. Like, it was like we used to just be doing little odd jobs like around the neighborhood, like just cutting grass or just doing some stuff like that. Like up there, it snow a whole lot. Like just trying to get a couple $, just little odd jobs.
Any crazy stories dealing with any of those odd jobs? Anything out of the norm?
A crazy odd jobs. I mean, you seen a lot of stuff. Like, at one time, I was doing a little odd job, and we, finishing up, and we just see all these police cars and start hearing all these gunshots. So we like, what the heck? So we running. We got sleds, everything hitting our hand, trying to get home. Like, it was just wild. Like, growing up as a kid, like, in court for.
Now, are both parents in your life?
Yeah, my mom was always there. My dad, he actually moved down to Texas when I was like a baby, but he was always in me and my brother's life. Like, he was always there though. Like, I made sure that we had everything. Like, and mom, she always made something happen. Always made sure we ate, had clothes, everything. Like, mom's official.
So they separated by the time you were born?
Yeah.
I see. And how many siblings?
I got one brother and one sister.
Are you the middle child?
Yeah, I'm the middle child.
Anybody else in your family raps aside from yourself, or just you?
I mean, I got a couple of people who I'm cool with that's pursuing it, but as far as like immediate family, nah.
Okay. Now, what does your family think about your rap career?
My family, they behind me. Like, they tell me to keep pushing. You gotta just keep going, like grinding constantly. You gotta work on your craft. Like, if there's something that you want to do, then you gotta do it. Like, you can't half-ass, cause if you're in the streets, you ain't gonna half-ass with the streets. So now it's like this rap game is like a way that you can really change people's life around you and feed your family from the rap.
Parents supportive?
Yeah, they're real supportive.
Have they ever seen you perform?
They never been to no performance, but they seen a couple performances like on live and stuff like that. It be funny for real.
What did they think? What were their thoughts?
I mean, my mom, she actually tell me like, you doing good, son. Like, keep up the good work. Like, my mom all the way behind me, my dad behind me. Like, for real, my whole family behind me. Like, they just see something in me. So that's why I'm just trying to go so hard with my craft.
Now, we talked about a variety of subjects in regards to your upbringing and your youth, but what's your message to the youth, generally speaking, at this point?
My message to the youth would just be, stay in school, stay away from the streets. You gotta have faith in God, be close to God, and just try to stay on the right track.